All right, let's get to a couple of these clips here. Well, let's start with this one. You know, we're getting reports now from across the country. Last week, we saw video images of ICE officers on a bus asking people for their papers. This is a video of an ICE officer on an Amtrak train headed up to Syracuse, New York, asking people for their papers. This is so effed up that this is going on. There are random ICE members going into random places in upstate California, Northern California right now as part of an intimidation raid. They know, look, they can send, and we talked about the story the other day where they sent a 50-some-odd-year-old man, a 60-year-old man who's been in this country for 40 years, has 2 children, citizens, wife, citizen. They homeowners in Youngstown, Ohio, small businessman. They sold their home. They told ICE, okay, look, we get it. We'll move out. Then they tricked the guy, get him to come in to meet with ICE on his regular meeting, and they detained him, and then they deported him without even telling his family. These, and everybody, well, not everybody, but we know here, largely in part because of Ronald Reagan, that there's no capacity in the system to deport even the number of people they've arrested, which is at record amounts. There's obviously no capacity to do this. There's obviously no capacity to deport 11, 12 million people. But there is another reason why they're doing this, and they're doing this to terrorize people. They're doing it because they want to drive self-deportation, which, again, I think is a ridiculous theory. But they're doing it to terrorize people. The result of a DACA, running out of time in terms of DACA, is not going to be the deportation of dreamers. It's going to be the prevention of dreamers from working legally. So you're either going to get people who are going to work for sub-minimum wages under the table, people who might not be able to maintain their residences. People may decide to leave on their own because they got to support their children who are U.S. citizens. This is just about terror. And here's another example of it. Syracuse. Amtrak train headed to Syracuse. ICE guy just randomly searching the papers of people. Moseying down the lane, looking at people who might have brown skin. This is Nazi shit. This is Nazi shit. I saw this and I was just like, there's going to be a day where I don't show up at work. And you'll know where I am because I was on a train somewhere and this shit went down. I don't know how you set up a network of stuff like this, but to in some way to
resistance?
Jam this stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we saw it right after the election when people shut down the airports. People were very excited to do it. Liberals, leftists. It was a really amazing thing to see.
I mean, I don't know how you coordinate jamming these individual raids.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, you would have to know that it's happening before it happens and form some sort of network to help people hide them, shield. I mean, Antifa can form an impenetrable ring around a building and, you know.
Yeah, I mean the question is how do you get some type of advance notice? Basically at one point there's going to have to be people in ICE in the organization themselves. And maybe, the key is to set up situations, but it would be a very hard thing to do, I think.
It only takes a few, though.
I think there also needs to be social sanctioning on some level. Like, working at ICE, I don't know how this works, but there needs to be some sense of, if you work for this organization, you're implementing it, you're a pariah. You're not going to be accepted in any type of respectable society. Because even the groups that are, I talked on this show with Corey Pine about this a couple of weeks ago. There are some churches that are trying to do this kind of work. And what's happening now is that ICE is just
when an ICE officer comes on your train or comes in the bus, there's got to be, just even booing them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is important. Yeah.
This is disgusting.
All right.